Hey guys, welcome back to the gazebo. Today we're putting the engine back in the frame. So our first port of call is going to be mounting this tank. It's held in by this bar and then there's another screw on the back here. It's a bit of a balancing act. Once I've got this bar in place, I can then go around and tighten up the other screw. Now that that's tightened up, we can go ahead and tighten up this bar. Who remembers the trick I taught you in the earlier videos about keeping your bolts in separate bags and labelled? Pretty handy, right? Next up, let's install this engine. Now we've got 5 bolts that keep this thing in place. We've got 4 underneath on these feet, and then we've got 1 at the top here on this frame. I'm just going to nip this one in here to keep it in place so it isn't going to fall out. Now that safety measure's there, we can line up these other bolts. I'm using thread locker on these bolts because quite frankly, I don't want to lose an engine mid-flight. Oh, so pretty. So we've just hit our first snag. I was about to mount the pull starter. I gave it a quick test to see if it was turning the engine over, and it doesn't seem like it's engaging. So I'm going to have to pull the cover off and see what's going on with that. I'm pretty sure what the problem here is when I replace this pull starter rope and put a knot in there, it's now touching this mechanism that engages with the flywheel, which turns the engine over. So I'm just going to take that knot out and make it a little bit tighter and then put it back in. It should be all right. Now that I've got that fixed, let's mount the pull start handle. So what I intend on doing is using a Jubilee clip to attach it to the top of the frame up here. It's not the nicest of installs, but it'll get the job done. For those of you that are wondering why I've got the gazebo up, this is exactly why. Looks like we've got some plumbing to do. At this point you might want to go and get yourself a fresh cup of tea because you can use that to soften the ends of your pipes. Always use a sharp, fresh Stanley blade when you're cutting pipes because otherwise you get a raggedy end and they don't seal very well. And it just doesn't look as neat. If you use your shirt or a pair of gloves or anything like that to get a bit more grip, these pieces go and give it nice and easy. Here's a handy little trick for you if you're trying to mount fuel lines. Grab yourself some pipe that you can fit a zip tie through. Cut a bit of pipe to length, thread one end of the zip tie through and create a loop around the pipe that you're mounting. Go back through the pipe and fasten the other end to your frame. There we go, a relatively easy way to keep your accessories away from the frame. Well, looks like last night we had some trouble in paradise. Rest in peace, gazebo. Some of you guys may be able to cast your mind back to when we first got this Paramotor started and we were thrust testing it. Mark had it on his back and the kill switch failed. I think I've just worked out why. No fancy camera tricks here guys, I want you to have full effect of how bad this repair really was. This bit isn't even attached properly. Because I want to use the camera in my right hand, I've gone with a left hand throttle. I've routed the cables as best I can to reduce the amount of flex on that cable. I'm still waiting on some parts to come through the post so I can properly install the electric start system. For the time being, I'm just going to roughly install the kill switch. Did you notice anything different about the throttle since I've rebuilt it? Yep, I've got a multimeter to wire in. One end goes under the spark plug, the other wraps around the spark plug lead, about 5 to 10 times. Right then, harness on, and last but not least, the prop. Thanks for watching this video guys. If you've liked it, let me know by giving it a thumbs up. If you loved it, subscribe. Stick around for the big reveal next week and I'll see you up in the air.